All right, welcome everyone. Hey, welcome to the post-crisis comics, The Brave and the Bold. Let me fix my light there for you real quick so you can see my pretty face. So I am your co-host. You can call me Cookie. And as always, with me is the ever-present, ever-hairy, ever-wonderful one.
Hi, it's Randy here. If you are a first-time viewer, we want to welcome you here. Please remember to like the video, give us subscribe to the channel if you like what we're putting out, and hit that bell notification so you can be notified next week when we upload our next episode.
Yeah, it seems like a small thing to do, but it does help the channel grow, and we're trying to get this channel as big as we possibly can, get a huge fan base, make money, millions possibly. Uh, but you know what? Hey, if you're not a first time viewer, if you're coming back, if you've been here since the beginning or even since the last episode, we want to welcome you back because we're very thankful that you guys are spending your time with us.
Mm-hmm. Also, please be advised that we are going to be talking about spoilers in the issue that we are discussing today. And speaking of that issue, we are talking about Absolute Batman #3, written by Scott Snyder, art by Nick Dragotta, color by Frank Martin. And this lovely cover that's on the screen right now is by Nick Dragotta and Frank Martin. And wow, just look at this cover. Batman is using his cape to suspend himself above a couple of party animals while also using the cape to hold one of them down. He looks like an absolute unit here. I really love the detailed background behind him of the city. And yeah, this cover is just amazing.
Yeah, I have no real notes on it other than it's a good cover. They do pretty good covers with the Absolute. Like I'm going back and looking at a lot of the different Absolute books and stuff, and they actually got the covers down pretty solid. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
So we pick up right where the previous issue left off, with Bruce chasing Selina because she'd taken the medal that Bruce had thrown out the window. This is the same medal that Bruce got for winning the science fair that led to the trip to the Gotham Zoo that caused his dad to be killed. Bruce chases Selina across rooftops that look potentially very dangerous, including a cable that goes between the buildings. That yeah, I'm not a heights person myself, and that cable walking, tightrope, high rise walking, ooh, not for me. That looks scary.
No, that would freak me out. I mean, my job currently is to walk up and down a ladder every day and take stuff from the top shelf and like fill holes, and that alone freaks me out at times. Like if I feel that platform shaking even a little bit, I'm leaking a little bit of urine. I'm not good with heights myself.
And then Selena saves Bruce from almost falling while making many references to cats. I love the coloring on this page. Um, no, it's the kind of the flashback coloring that we always get, but there's a lot more pink and purple here. In this one, for some reason, it feels very 90s to me.
It does. Until you said it, I didn't think about it. But it does have a '90s feel to it, and I like that because I'm obsessed with '90s comics. I love them. Um,
Yes,
I just I lo- Aside from just even the coloring, I like the dynamic, like that childhood friendship between Bruce and his friends. This is something I want to see a lot more of because
for
there's just
sure.
something cool about that, and especially with him and Selena. Like I feel like that's the beginning of like a love story of like childhood sweethearts to eventually grow up and get married and have little cat bats or whatever it is that they would eventually have.
So next we get a full page spread of then Officer Gordon running with Bruce through the zoo after the shooting. And in the foreground, we get the shadow of a lion watching them. And it's kind of interesting. The lion keeps coming up over and over again because the lion, Bruce and his dad had a discussion about the lion back in the first issue. It's coming up again now in the third issue. It may have come up in the second issue. I don't remember off the top of my head. If you know, let us know down in the comments. But good page, good looking page. The art is great. The foreshadowing with the lion is good. I dig it.
I do too. Well, actually, one of the things I'm really getting into with this book, and I mean, we'll have to discuss later on as we get more into the absolute stuff because I'll have to see if that's something that comes up in other books. They're doing a good job world building. They're
Mm-hmm.
making this Gotham feel like Gotham itself almost feels like a character. Like there's some interesting stuff happening in the city itself that's kind of cool. And like the zoo, I actually kind of like they make me want to like go to the zoo. Partially because like at the same time I kind of don't because if there's like random shootings, maybe avoid those days.
Right. So next we're back to modern day with Alfred and his diary. Pennyworth gives us a tirade about how he's cultivated a life of stealth, and yet somehow he has ended up on the front of a bat-themed dump truck headed down Broadway. He thinks he might hate Batman. I laughed out loud at that line. That was just such good writing. The party animals chase, and Batman tells Pennyworth he doesn't have much time to be convinced. Pennyworth needs to start talking now.
Uh, okay, so one of the things, I'll discuss it as we go on. If like one of the things I liked with this was that the way they kind of play with time. It's like, okay, you got 30 seconds, and I want to say like this 30 seconds lasts a lot longer than 30 seconds in real time. So it's like that's one of the things that I love about comics is how they can do that. And going back and reading this time, I kind of caught something that was interesting. It feels to me like, and I don't think I caught this the first time around. There's a parallel to Pennyworth and Batman. Like a lot of times when I'm reading Pennyworth's diary or journal or whatever, uh, it could almost be taken as Batman's. Like the way that he's talking and the way like a lot of the stuff he's talking about, just because the whole shadow thing and like the various identities, all that stuff. This is all stuff Batman has done and like in main continuity.
Next time
So
you come up with something like that, send me a text so when I read it, I can keep the same thing in mind because you're right, and that's freaking awesome. And I kind of wish I had read the rest of the issue with that in mind.
I literally just popped in my head as I was flipping through it today. I was like, oh yeah, okay, that totally feels like a Batman line.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and keep that in mind as I read through in the future too. So we find out that Black Mask is the leader of a paramilitary group that serves some of the most powerful people on the planet, destabilizing local governments, using lots of violence, things of that nature. Oh, and he is the leader of the party animals, which I'm pretty sure we as readers already knew before this. Batman makes some changes to the Bat Truck, and Pennyworth decides that he loves Batman.
Yeah, there's a real love-hate relationship between these two. That's kind of interesting. It's also interesting. Like it's such a different dynamic than what we're used to with Alfred and Batman. It's usually a father-son relationship, and now it's just kind of more of a um, like a brotherly relationship, but like that brother that you kind of hate at times. So you're just like you bastard.
Yeah, yeah, totally. So Pennyworth ducks into the Bat Truck and mans a gun turret. Batman's Bat Truck has gun turrets. I mean, let that sink in. It shoots mini bat projectiles, each with a different electrical charge designed to blow tires. I love how this Batman is not afraid to use guns. They are non lethal, admittedly, but he's not afraid to use them. And then I also suspect that this might be a callback to Batman number 15.
Batman 15. That was the one with the him on the cover with Robin and the he's got the gun, the turret gun.
Yes, we'll put it up on the screen for our viewers.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking at it now. I could definitely see that. I could see them kind of. They do a lot of, I think, callbacks to things.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like I don't know much about Snyder. Like I've never read any interviews or anything like that about the man. But I feel like he has a pretty good sense of comic book history. So I could see him or Dragotta or one of them kind of like doing that.
For sure. Um, given how many callbacks that they have in this, I'm pretty sure that that's what this is. So Pennyworth thinks that Batman should take a deal that was offered to him in the previous issue for money from Black Mask, which Pennyworth thinks that this will get him out of Gotham quickly. Uh, Honestly, I kind of thought Pennyworth was a better guy than that, but I guess I could see where he's coming from. He was pulled off that job before, where he had spent what 5 years chasing the Joker, and they just suddenly pulled him out right before he was gonna get his guy.
Yeah, and to be fair, like I don't recall ever reading. I don't know anyone personally who's a soldier of fortune, but I don't recall like watching many movies or reading many books or comics where a soldier of fortune type character wouldn't go for a deal like that. Wouldn't be like, no, just give me the money, and then I'm gonna go do whatever else.
Hmm. And then we see the police are chasing Batman, and we also see that Harvey is police commissioner. And I don't think I picked up on that previously. Harvey Bullock is police commissioner. Um, I knew he was a cop. Don't think I realized he was commissioner.
Yeah, that kind of caught me off guard too. I mean, I figured it's going to have to be somebody because we know it's not Gordon. So I didn't know who they were going to end up throwing in that slot. Bullock is an interesting choice.
Yeah, well, it's kind of makes sense because Gordon is the mayor. So as Gordon got elevated from probably a commissioner previously to the mayor, it would make sense that Bullock would step up and become the commissioner.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested in I want to see more detectives, like more like detectives from previous Batman stories and things like that kind of start to show up. And I'm kind of curious of what they would do with absolute versions. Like obviously, the big one I'm waiting for is you got to give us absolute Jim Corrigan at some point.
I want to see Montoya. I want to see absolute Montoya.
I'd be okay. I love Montoya. I'd be cool with some Montoya.
So the police chase Batman to the end of a pier, and it looks like he has no place to go. And at that point, Batman tells Pennyworth to pull the lever in front of him. I laugh because I know it's coming. The lever shoots Pennyworth into the air so that he can go plop into the water, and the bat truck also hits the water and keeps rolling once it's on the bottom of the river. I mean, screw real life physics, right? It's a comic
It's
book.
yeah. You kind of have to like ignore physics on top of like the multiple other things that we've brought up in the past. Batman being basically a giant. Um, like the physics just doesn't work in this universe. Just let it all go and have fun with it. And
Hell yeah,
they're definitely pulling off.
for sure. So we get back to the past where Selina and Bruce are still roof hopping. We find out Selina has been bouncing between many foster homes, and this roof is where she hangs out with cats when she doesn't have a place to otherwise stay. Bruce asks Selina to come live with him and his mom, and Selina's like, nah.
that that was kind of interesting to me. That hit like an emotional part with me. I'm curious of why is she not going to take him up on that offer? Is there something like about her? Does she not feel like she's capable of being in a family? Is she just closing off every possibility of like love or anything like that because she just feels she's not in a position where she can handle that?
Good
That
questions.
Yeah, it opened up a lot of things to me like where I was like, oh, poor Selena. Like I wanted to reach through the panels and give her a hug. Like poor girl.
We might be finding out more information about that soon because as we record this video, we are 1 to 2 weeks away from the release of Absolute Catwoman #1. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yes.
Then we get a call back to the beginning of the issue where the lion watched Gordon carry Bruce out of the zoo. And also back to that first issue where Bruce and his father discussed the lion. We find out that the lion has been released back to the wild thanks to the shooting that happened. So something positive actually came of that horrible situation. Selena takes Bruce to a movie theater and plays Zorro for him. Once again, a callback to so many comics where Bruce's parents were killed on Earth 1 due to having gone to the theater that night to see Zorro. Bruce looks mad about the fact that she dragged him here.
Yeah, because you could tell that he was not happy with that, and you can't blame him because he's been trying to avoid all this stuff. He's going through an emotional crisis at the moment of like he blames himself for the death, and I think he's just trying to shut everyone and everything out.
Yep.
And that's what I like about this is it shows how good of a friend Selena is. Of she's not going to let him. It's like, no, you're going to deal with this, and I'm going to be here with you for it.
Exactly. And as a reminder, the last episode, the last issue, his friends had shown up at the front door and he had refused to see them. So we know he was in a depression at this point. So we go on to the next page and we are back in the present day. Bruce is hanging out with Eddie. Eddie has built a Riddler AI bot. Apparently, the bot knows that Black Mask is one of the most evil creatures alive, a crypto bro. He uses the crypto to pay people who are wearing the party animals' masks.
Who would ever suspect that crypto and bros would be evil? I mean, like I've met many in my lifetime, many people who are involved in crypto, many bros, and they've all just been the sweetest, most wonderful, amazing. Okay, I can't even finish that. I'm sorry. That's just this. I can't. My soul feels dirty trying to say that.
I'm
But
about
no,
to see
I
some
thought
lightning striking you down.
that if there is a God, don't strike me down. um, but I kind of like that there was a cool like bringing in modern stuff to like modernize these villains and everything. And it's an interesting way to kind of do Black Mask.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really liking how they're portraying this version of Black Mask. And then of course I'm a huge Riddler nut, so the little teases that you're giving us of Eddie becoming the Riddler, I'm just like, oh, I cannot wait. I'm very interested to see what we're going to get for this version.
And I'm double checking. You've caught the fact that he, in almost every scene, is wearing a necklace that has a question mark. That's a question mark, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, very good. So on the next page, we find out that the money that Black Mask is paying the party animals is for the crimes that they commit. The AI thinks that Black Mask network cannot be taken down, which is interesting. Which that was the whole idea behind the internet to begin with, is this network of places that if a nuclear bomb goes off and explodes somewhere out of existence, we can still have communications. The Defense Department can still communicate with each other through this thing they created called the internet.
And who would have thought that we went from that to now we can watch a bunch of teenage punks pull annoying pranks on TikTok. It's a miracle of how it's grown.
You watch TikTok?
No, I know about a lot of the stuff that happens through videos I watch, and the interesting thing is like that kind of ties into the fact that I feel like there's definitely some inspiration for Black Mask through the TikTok crap that's going on currently. It feels very similar.
I see what you mean. So then we go on to the next page, and I start to wonder how someone who grew up in Crime Alley can afford all this tech gear that Eddie owns. Bruce gets a call from Harvey. Harvey has found out that Ark M gets money from JK Holdings, who specialize in black site private prisons. Those prisons have investment from a lot of other valuable companies. So it's like a whole conspiracy of corporations setting up these black site prisons and doing who knows what inside them. Well, we'll find out next arc, but no pun intended. But yeah, I mean it's spookily similar to what probably happens in real life today.
I could definitely see that. Yeah, there's probably a lot of weird conspiracy stuff that's happening in prisons nowadays that we don't even know about. I'm all down for conspiracy stuff. That stuff fascinates me. So I'm hook, line, and sinker in this book now with the whole conspiracy stuff going on in the background. I'm like, oh, how deep is this conspiracy going to go? Is this going to be like not just Batman? Is this going to be like stuff we're seeing here is going to touch other like books and things?
If you've read any of the most recent issues, the network that goes out is just so deep. I don't want to get too far ahead, but I read every new issue as it comes out. Hey, check out our YouTube shorts because I do quick little reviews every Wednesday for the new comics that come out. And I post the text of those reviews on our Patreon exclusively for our patron members, so you don't have to watch a video to see my opinion. Anyway, so we go to Hill, the man running against Mayor Gordon. He's meeting Commissioner Bullock. Hill has brought Bullock here to meet Black Mask. And then we get a cameo from Bibbo Bukowski, a Superman supporting cast member in the Earth 1 DC universe. Interestingly enough, Bibbo is still from Suicide Slum, just like he is in Earth 1.
This was kind of interesting. I did not expect this cameo. I like what they did with him. I thought it was kind of a different like change because usually he's just kind of the big dumb sailor. Um, it's like I never cared much about him as a side character. This was like, okay, well, at least you're doing something with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always interested to see the changes that they do in these like alternate universe stories.
So on the next page, while Black Mask kicks Bibbo's ass, he has a conversation with Commissioner Bullock about Mayor Gordon. Black Mask mentions that Gordon and Bullock were once in the military together. That symbolizes a brotherhood, which makes what's coming next really surprising. Like normally, folks in the military are you don't go against a fellow military person, especially somebody you serve directly with.
Yeah, it kind of makes me worried of what they're going to do with Bullock. Like where is this character going to go? Because so far I don't love him, I don't hate him. I'm just kind of waiting to see how he's going to turn out. Uh, and I got a bad feeling I'm not going to like where Bullock's going to go.
I feel like in mainline Batman comics, Bullock is the guy that you kind of love to hate. Maybe hate's too strong a word. He's the guy who is always portrayed as somebody you want to dislike. Although sometimes he comes through with that heart of gold moment.
Yeah, like for me, and I'm sure there's a lot of people like me that like my generation, our generation, I guess you say, that our main exposure to Bullock was Batman the animated series, and he was all over the place. Like there were moments where you were so irritated with him for going after Batman, and then there were times where he did some really nice things, and you kind of cared about the character. I thought they handled Bullock beautifully, and I've yet been able to find in the comics a version of Bullock that I've really been like I've loved.
I really liked Bullock in Cataclysm. I thought they portrayed him really well in that series.
It's been years since I've read Cataclysm. I need to go back and read it. So I think it was the same thing in uh, Gotham Central. I think it was kind of like he had some moments in that he wasn't too bad.
I've not read Gotham Central. I need to read that one myself. Anyway, so not getting too far off task here. Black
Yeah.
Mask proceeds to apparently kill Bibbo while finishing his conversation. Black Mask promises Bullock a lot of equipment for the police to help catch the party animals. Like Bullock is, getting ready to take the bribe, and he sees a man killed in front of him, and Black Mask is like, "Oh no, don't worry about him. He'll be fine." And it looks like Bibbo is dead.
Either Bibbo is dead or he just crapped his pants and he's afraid to move because he doesn't want it to like spread.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Because yeah, like that expression is that's you're either dead or you don't want to move because something is wrong.
and the red eyes, the way his eyes have just become bloodshot. That's kind of what makes me think he's dead. Is like Black Mask choked him to death, and the blood vessels in his eyes exploded as a result. Anyway,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Bibbo's dead.
that's my take on the matter. So then we are back to Pennyworth and his diary. We learn the Arcs are secret, unregulated prisons run in conjunction with lots of governments around the world. Um, the fact that when you do bad things, when you do the wrong thing, and this universe rewards you, that like it's this is showing us that the governments doing the wrong thing is rewarding the governments because they are doing these things, and I like how that's portrayed, and how every time we look at this universe as a whole, we're seeing that happen. The bad guys end up on top every time.
Yeah, and I always bring up the whole darkness kind of thing, and to me, that's the thing with this universe is it is a dark universe. But what's interesting about it is the fact that it's a dark universe that works well because it explains things. It's not just darkness for the sake of darkness. I mean, we've seen that in a lot of '90s books and even some '80s books. They would just make everything dark and bleak and depressing and just like, all right, man, I gotta take a break and just like go watch some My Little Pony or something to kind of cheer myself up because like I need that complete opposite of like the crap you were just giving me. Swamp Thing being one of those things. Like Swamp Thing could get so dark and depressing and just like, oof, yeah, man. Um, this is interesting because it's like you said, everything has a rational explanation for why stuff is going on, and you're seeing, like you say, the ramifications for the things, the events that are happening. I like that because it's smart writing, and it's not something you get a lot of smart writing in comics these days, where it's like things are really like interwoven together and tying
Hmm.
into multiple aspects.
Um, yeah, you've got a good point. The universe is very well thought out. Scott Snyder is the architect of this universe, and he does an amazing job with it. Um, Now we learned that Arc A was the first prototype in Santa Prisca. And for those unaware, Santa Prisca is where Bane is from in the Earth 1 universe. So I like that. It's another one of those little cameos that, wow, this is really cool. And we've built we've made our way all the way from that first Arc A over to Arc M, which is currently the biggest in the world. And Bruce looks across the river and sees Arc M being built on an island.
Yes, and I want to go back to the Santa Prisca thing. That to me, like you said, that little Easter egg, because the moment they said it, I looked at it, and that's what kicked off my brain to okay, we got Arc A, Santa Prisca, and then B was Russia, and then C was China, which I was kind of like, all right, really, C, China? You're gonna be lazy and do C and China together? Like, come on, guys. But Russia again, like if you're going Easter eggs, that could be KG Beast. That's another Batman villain. And so that led me to thinking, like, all right, who's a villain from China that Batman has dealt with over the years that could possibly come from Arc C? Like, is that another Easter egg we could be getting? I couldn't think of anybody. I don't know if you can. If maybe any of our viewers can think of anyone,
Yeah, let us
drop it
know in
down
the
in the
comments,
comments.
please.
Yeah.
Then we get a call back to the first issue where Bruce and his dad talked about the lion being safe and secure, but that didn't mean anything without freedom. Bruce wants to leave the theater that they're in, but then the rest of his friends show up, and it turns into a party as they all watch Zorro with Bruce's mom watching from the back of the theater. It shows how much his
This
friends really care about him and how they want to be there for him, even though he doesn't even want to be there for himself. And it seems to make his mom happy.
this was one of the best moments I read in the comic. This is one of the best moments I've read in a Batman comic in years. Of it just like it felt very heartwarming. Of the touching moment between him and his friends, his mom being there. That's just like there was something about that that just like, all right, this feels really sweet. I love this. The art style made it even better.
Oh
Just
yeah,
everything about that whole thing just worked for me.
that in the past coloring it perfectly fits
Yeah,
this scene.
it's like one of the best things. Like I go back to again. I would love to see more of these flashbacks throughout this series because it's probably my highlight of the series is the flashbacks.
And let's talk about the fact that you keep bringing up how dark this is, but we always get the contrast. We get the dark. We get the bad thing, but it always brings us back around to that positive thing.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that's how you do a dark book. I'm not opposed to a dark book if you do it right. If you don't just do it for the sake of like darkness. I mean, you've read some horror books recently and stuff, and some really dark comics out there that just there's no reason for it to be that bad, that bleak and just horrible. But like when you do it right and you balance it with something like innocent, something good, you kind of give the reader a little bit of hope. That helps out because it gives you a reason to come back. Like it makes it feel like not everything is just horrible moment after horrible moment. And
Right.
Absolute
And
Universe is giving us great stuff.
next we move back to the present. We see Bruce is at his mom's house. She did not expect him. And Bruce tells his mom that he wants her to lie low since there's so much chaos going on in the city. And she's like, nah. Not only am I not gonna lie low, but I'm also taking a job as Gordon's deputy mayor. And she, puts on that vote Gordon for mayor button. Like, I love how brave and bold this woman is. Like, the city's going to hell in a handbasket. They're targeting Gordon. And she's like, I got to be there with him. Gordon's my boy. We're going to get through this together. Gordon saved my kid at the zoo. He's one of my best friends. I'm going to be there for him.
I absolutely love Bruce's mom. She's one of my favorite characters coming out of this. I just everything about her has been really cool. She's a sweet, loving, caring mother. She's also, like I said, very brave. She's going to stand up for not just her family but her friends, for her city. I mean, this is it's not going to shock me if at some point in the future, like by like issue 25 or issue 50 or something like that, we ever end up getting that far into it, that it's going to be like, she's the mayor. She ends up becoming mayor of Gotham.
That would be interesting. Um, no spoilers. I was about to say something, but I'll keep my mouth shut. So Bruce tries to tell his mom Martha that trying to change things won't work. His mom is like, no, in this family, we try. We make the attempt, even if it's futile, because it is the right thing to do.
again, I love that she's instilling basically what it is to be a hero in him.
Yeah, and
That
he's a
it's
grown man
usually,
at this point, and she's still giving him that loving guidance and saying, being that example and saying, this is what we do. We are good, a force for good in the world.
yeah. And what to me, it's like what's cool is you see this a lot in these alternate universe stories of stuff will kind of get a hold and like stick, end up in the main universe. That happens a lot of times where like they'll or things from movies. I think like originally in the original continuity, Superman's parents died, and then later on, like when they revamped it, like after Crisis and stuff, oh no, his parents were alive, and I think that came from like some of the movies and TV shows and various things. They kind of like things kind of adapt over, bringing the point back. I'm hoping that at some point, if we get a revamp again of the main continuity universe, we get his mom alive in that because I just absolutely love her.
That would be interesting. And then, and an interesting juxtaposition on the next page, we get to see Pennyworth spying on his daughter, talking about how hard it is to keep family safe. Like, that difference between Pennyworth and Martha, Pennyworth wasn't there for his kid. That's the implication anyway. And we see that Martha is there for her kid.
Yeah, I do like that contrast that we get to see the two different parenting styles, and it's interesting that you see like, and both of them obviously are coming from a place of love. Pennyworth loves his daughter, but he just for some reason he feels she's safer with him not being in her life. Where I feel like Martha would be the complete opposite of like, no, no matter what, my son is not going to be better off without me. He
Uh,
needs me.
yeah, and then for whatever reason, whatever Pennyworth did or didn't do, his daughter is like, no, you're not involved in my life. I don't want you around.
Yeah, I'm very curious. I want to find out more about that. I feel like his daughter could turn out to be an interesting character.
I'm sure we're going to find out some more stuff. But then we get to see some TV spots recapping what's going on in Gotham. One of the spots notes that Bullock has endorsed Hill for mayor. So Bullock was offered a bribe in the form of more equipment for his police officers, and he took the bribe. Uh, it's again, you love to hate him. But at the same time, he's trying to help the fellow officers. He's trying to keep them safe. So, do you really blame him for trying to keep his fellow officers safe in exchange for an endorsement? But then we find out that Gordon was his brother. They served in the military together. That's a bond that's usually unbreakable. This is a complex character.
It, it goes back to what I said before. It's that smart writing. It's giving you the standard. Like I mean, there's always Gotham. A standard for Gotham City is corruption in politics and the police and all this. Like the city is just riddled with corruption. And so, of course, we get it in this universe as well. But we're getting something we don't get to see too often, and that is a explanation of the corruption. Why is there corruption? And you're making it a little sympathetic, like you said. It's like I kind of, I mean, I kind of feel for Bullock of like, hey, I don't want to go against my brother. I don't want to sell out, but at the same time, between the party animals and Batman, are we need the equipment. We need everything we can to stop this stuff from happening because he doesn't see Batman as a beacon of light in this dark city.
No, no, he
Batman's just
doesn't.
another costume lunatic. So it's like I got to take him out. So I fully get where Bullock is coming from, and I'm right there with you. Of like I don't know how to feel. I'm conflicted.
And then in uh, something that's really interesting to me, Hill, the mayoral candidate running against Gordon, proposes that in an effort to bring Gotham together, that they do not turn on the memorial light commemorating the Gotham Zoo shooting. So it's showing us that today is the anniversary, or maybe tomorrow is the anniversary of the zoo shooting. And the talking heads wonder how Batman will respond to this new status quo. This is the part of the book that threw me off a little bit because it seems kind of weird that they would associate Batman with the zoo shooting. Like, why would the talking heads even bring Batman up in this situation? This seems like maybe the one instance that I can find where maybe Snyder overstepped the plot a little bit. Do you have any thoughts on that?
And this is the only thing I can think of off the top of my head that could possibly justify it is, are they bringing that up because they're thinking, what is Batman going to do in a situation like this because of the fact of he's out there fighting these criminals and trying to essentially give hope to the city. Don't bow down to their demands. Don't give in to anything that these guys are doing. Continue to like live your life, to like that kind of thing. And the city basically is just bowing down to terrorism in a sense of like, hey, let's not do this thing we normally do because we don't want to instigate any violence with the party animals. And so maybe that's what they're thinking of like, hey, how is Batman going to take this? Don't
I
know though.
I admire your ability to come up with that scenario. I think it's the only even close to reasonable scenario that we get, but I still don't buy it. And that's nothing against you or your theory. I think Snyder made a small mistake here.
More than likely, you're right. I mean, I'm almost 100% positive you're right. I'm just grasping at straws to try and
Sure.
make sense of something. I mean, this is the guy here that will try to logically explain away a scene in a Godzilla movie that is like, I have to stop and remind myself it's a guy in a rubber suit.
Yeah. All right. So Bruce ends up telling Black Mask that he is going to accept the deal. That Batman will stand down for 1 week if the party animals go easy on Gotham for a week, and then Bruce is going to accept all that money. So, probably so he could try to build Batman into something even bigger and, imagine how much more he could do with that money. And leaving us here with that, it's a little disappointing.
He's not going to end up taking the deal. He's Batman. He's not going to do it.
All right. Well, we'll see in the next episode that we record. So, overall, this issue was pretty good. A lot of status quo establishing and world building happening in this one. It was a little light on the action past those first few pages. The cameo from Bibbo was pretty cool. Learning that the Bat Truck can go underwater was also neat. This issue obviously needed to happen. But I'll be honest, it was probably the worst issue of Absolute Batman so far. There weren't as many awesome moments as there were in the previous two issues, but saying that this is the worst Absolute Batman is still, it is leagues above so many other comics. Like, this is not saying anything bad about this issue. So I ended up giving it a 3.75 out of 5 Bat Dump Trucks.
I'm going to first lean forward so I can snack you. I'm going to give you a smack for that because this to me was probably my favorite one so far because of the backstory stuff and the world building. I mean, the flashback stuff alone made me love this book. Everything was just like a heartwarming moment to me that I was just like, wow, I'm here for this. This is CW Batman.
All right. So what was your score?
I'm gonna go with a 4.75.
Okay. What are you taking off the quarter point for?
The only reason I'm taking off the quarter point is because the fact that I feel like it's still finding its footing. There's still a few things that I'm a little bit. I'm still trying to feel out the universe here a little bit. I'm still trying to kind of get like I'm not 100% on the side of Pennyworth. He has not appealed to me enough as a character to where if he leaves, if like this is the only arc we get of Pennyworth and he doesn't come back, I can't honestly say I'm going to miss him.
Mm.
So there's.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so it's like there kind of needs to be, for me at least, there needs to be a little bit more character building for him. At least give me moments where I'm going to care about him more.
I really enjoyed the fact that Pennyworth was the comic relief in this issue. I think I hate the Batman. I think I love the Batman within like a span of 3 pages. Like those moments literally made me laugh out loud, and that is what kind of endeared me to Pennyworth.
I mean, he's getting better than when we first saw him, but I'm still waiting. Like I trust Snyder enough to where I feel like by the end of the arc, I'm going to absolutely love Pennyworth. I think it's a slow build for me. That, and then like of course the betrayal thing was like, oh, like I understand why you did it, Harvey, but damn you, Harvey. All right, so that is our show, everyone. We want to thank you for joining us tonight. We're really glad that you guys came along this ride and were watching. And we do this for the love of the comics medium. I'm pretty sure you can tell that that's the only reason our friendship works out is because of comic books.
It's pretty much true. Despite his controversial opinion as this being the best episode ever, best issue ever of Batman. Anyway, please join us on our Patreon, where we have our post-crisis comics book club for our members. We have great comics conversations with our members. We show off our hauls. We let you see some funny and uncensored video clips of the show. That's probably my favorite thing about the Patreon, is uploading those clips for you guys. You can also find us at Blue Sky. There's a link down in the description.
So speaking of descriptions, hey, you know what would be a wonderful idea? You check that description down below and you find that Amazon affiliate page. If you click on that, you can buy what Randy is currently holding, which is the book that we're reading tonight. You can find various formats. You can find single issues. You can find the collected editions. There's all kinds of stuff, choices out there for you. And you know what? If you buy that and you use that affiliate link, it's going to kick some of that money back to us. And the best part is you're not going to have to pay anything extra for it. We're just going to get some of the money because Amazon loves us so much.
Yes, and they love it when you buy books through our affiliate links. This is the hardcover that I'm holding up of the first trade paperback. These hardcovers are very well built. You can usually get them for a pretty good discount on Amazon too. And plus, when you get the hardcover, you get an extra piece of bonus art on the inside under the dust cover that the regular trade paperback does not get. All right, so we want to give a big shout out to our editors, Nacho King and Nickname Nick. They make the videos a reasonable length compared to what they are when we record them. Those guys do awesome work.
Yeah, without them, this would just be a jumbled mess of basically me cussing him out for 4 or 5 hours. So it's wonderful to have good editors doing the 100% work here.
So what is our closing going to be tonight? May all of your friends be as awesome as Bruce's friends are. That's mine. That's what I got.
I like that. You know what? I mean, I could just sit here and disagree and just go na 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 Batman. But you know what? No, I'm not going to.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. It was a lot of fun. I hope you have a good night.